8th graders, I hope you had a great weekend. We are down to our last week of assignments for school, and so I have 3 more days of stuff for you. Today, it's just gonna be kind of watching a little video when you're done about the scientific method, just kind of our recap. And then tomorrow, just a little video of mine. And then on Wednesday, I have a little experiment that you're gonna need cinnamon and sugar for. So if you wanna have that ready to go before you watch the video on Monday or Wednesday, that'd be awesome. Just a little bit of cinnamon sugar, maybe like 1 spoonful total, and what I do is I mix them up, and I'll kind of show you that when I start on Wednesday, and you can always pause the video too. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go over the science experiments that we did, and the experiments that you guys turned in were awesome. Like, they were so good, and it was so fun to see them, and you guys did some really neat ones, and you did some ones that I kind of want to add to my class list for next year. And if I do have to do this kind of same thing, I would love to do some of them that you did, because some of yours turned out better than mine did. So, and you never know until you try. So that's kind of the fun thing about science experiments. And it was really fun to see some of the videos that people sent me of them doing their experiments. It was pretty awesome to see everybody. So I'm just going to go through kind of what I found with my experiments. So, dominant hand for my dog. I found that my dog was left-hand dominant, and that's what my hypothesis was. I thought that he was going to be left-hand dominant, and he was. Pretty much used his left hand every single time for all the tests I did. And there were some people who did their pets dominant hand too, so that was fun to see. The next one, the evaporation one, in this middle one right here is the one that I used for evaporation. And although the water did not fully evaporate in either cup, and actually it was sitting out for longer, I put for 24 hours. And actually this one I didn't put a time on. That's one thing I would need to add to my experiment, right? Because I want to make sure I know exactly how much. So it's actually been on for about 5 days, and neither one of them fully evaporated, but the one in the warm area evaporated faster. Like, more of it evaporated in the same amount of time. The funny thing is, though, I saw the cup of water sitting up on the windowsill, and I was like, oh, somebody left the water sitting out. And so then I dumped it out, put it in the sink, washed it, and then that night I was like, oh, that was part of my science experiment. So, lesson learned, I need to label things when I put them around my house when they're an experiment. So, evaporation, some of you did this one as well and found the same thing, that the one in the warmer area evaporated faster. And we know that's because thermal energy is making it evaporate. Okay, Coke. Oh, no, not Coke versus bleach. That's what I was going to do, but then I decided not to. This was Coke versus the penny. And so that was this one right here. And this one sat in there for about 5 days with the Coke. And it did get a little bit cleaner. I wish I would have taken a better picture of it beforehand, but not as shiny as I was expecting it to get. So was my hypothesis correct? Yes, but not to the extent that I was thinking. I find that experiments like this, where you're looking at an amount of change, can be harder when there's no clear yes or no answer. It can be like, it kind of did, but kind of didn't. So I would say that my hypothesis was incorrect because I thought it was going to get shinier, but it still cleaned it a little bit. So that is my Coke versus penny. Okay, and my last one was the Coke versus the egg. And that was this right here. And I left this one in for 5 days. So I changed it for 24 hours to 5 days because I checked after 24 hours and it was not doing much at all. It wasn't changing really. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to leave it in there for a little bit longer and see what happens. And I did, and not much changed. So it's still as hard as before. The one website that I found that I was kind of looking at when I found it said to leave it in there for a year, which is crazy. That's a long time. So I could leave it in there for a whole nother year and see what it's like next spring, but I'll probably just take their word for it. Well, some of you did this experiment with vinegar, and that was really neat, and a lot of you said that it did soften it up. So that's one that I would want to change next year, is using vinegar instead of Coke and seeing how it goes. So those are my experiments. It was fun to see everybody's, and I wish I could share them all with you, what we did, because they were really good. And it makes me really want to have a science fair next year again, because it was so fun to see how creative everybody was and what you all came up with. So all you have to do today is watch the YouTube video below, and it's just a little review about the scientific method, and that's it. You don't have anything else you need to do today. Tomorrow will be the video, and then Wednesday will be your last little assignment. Have a good day, everybody.